These are the reasons why we should not overlook these things. And I'm asking myself, why is it so difficult for us to get rid of the Ganta dispute one and for all? Give the land back to the rightful owners. As far as all these investigations are concerned, work with the people who are not the owners. Say, look, let's be honest. This land is for these people. Got to get the land back. 2 different reports, 3 different reports. People going to court. You people have provided lawyers. Government have given lawyers. Everything. Nothing changing. We got to get the land back. But every time I talk about this land, I see a little bit of politics. Sometimes the governments are careful. Oh, you got to be careful in that land business because election time will come when you rule in a way that. But justice is supposed to be blind. Now, justice is not supposed to see anybody, regardless of a vote, politics, affiliation, what have you. The land must be turned over to the rightful owner. We don't want to see a situation where one day all of us are sitting here in Moria will say, oh, so the people fighting Ganta or like the Ganta land or people taking classes for each other. Then the ERU, everybody moving in to arrest people, blah, 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 blah. We have the capacity as a government. We have everything it takes as a government. We must resolve this matter. Nobody is supposed to be bigger than the government, especially the law. We must be able to use the law to say, this land is not for you. The documents have established that. You people have gone to court. You've provided evidence. It have established that the land for these people. We should treat that Ganta land situation with caution. Every time I talk about it, let's treat it with caution. Let's treat it with caution. People are getting increasingly frustrated. They believe that people occupy the land, people on their land, people in one Gary, and the government is not saying anything. Are we going to wait until people arrogate authority unto themselves and move there and say, we will break down these structures by force because these are our structures, and then we come out to say, no, the government got to move in, the police got to arrest people, people will be in handcuffed. The people took the law into our own hand. But mind you, we have more than 10 years plus to resolve a single land case as an entire nation. More than 10 years. And I'm sure these cases are all over, Sackley, PA, and every other place. But it seems the Ganta land is what the government has been investigating is the one I'm talking about this morning. Mr. President, remember you issued an executive order on March 15. And that executive order, you said initially it would have lasted for 60 days. And renewal would have depended on submission probably of a committee report to you. Mr. President, you want to ask the committee how far are they? Because the executive order is what we just read. Let's move on. I just wanted to remind the President this morning because land dispute is nothing small. Especially Ganta is, it's an economic area, it's a business area, it's a commercial area. The land we're talking about, some of it is right on the main road. I say it because I went there. Right on the Sackley Road there. I went there, we talked to people and we heard the different opinions. And when we came back to Monrovia, there was a time people said they were going to take the laws into their own hands because it appears that the government did not want to participate. The government did not want to give the land to the owner. So they would have gone to Ganta and engaged in acts that would have undermined the peace and security in Ganta. Then President Boakai took over and set up a committee. Let's move on. My man come and say, wow, reading different posts from people. But these posts matter. Councillor Tiawon Gongolo wrote a commentary. He says, Mr. President, where did the money for the U.S. $6 million 4-year presidential center come from? Mr. President, Councillor Gongolo said, where did the money for the construction of the approximately U.S. $6 million 4-year presidential center come from? Was it appropriated by the national legislature? Was it provided by the Manon River Union? Was it contributed by state-owned enterprises? Was it donated by private individuals, Liberians, foreign governments, or international partners? Or, given Liberia's current narcotics trafficking concerns, is there any possibility that proceeds of illicit activities entered directly or indirectly the financing chain of the project? The Liberian people are entitled to know. Let's be clear that I am not accusing President Joseph Newman Boakai of financing the FOIA project with drug money. There is presently no established evidence, Gongolo said, upon which such accusation can responsibly be made. Neither am I suggesting that the project itself is illegitimate. FOIA deserves development, and Liberia needs facilities that can support regional cooperation, diplomacy, and peace building. My concern is different. The government has not provided a sufficiently clear, documented, and independently verifiable explanation of the source of the project's financing. That question has become more important because different explanations concerning the project's financing have circulated publicly, including references to the Mano River Union, private contributions, and more recently, the government's characterization of the facility as a Government of Liberia project. When explanations concerning a multi-million-dollar public project appear incomplete or inconsistent, the appropriate response to transparency and verification. The government should therefore provide a definitive account of the project's financing, the drug trafficking context. The issue cannot be separated from Liberia's current narcotics crisis. The recent seizure of a very large quantity of cocaine, reportedly worth hundreds of millions of dollars, demonstrates the capacity of international criminal networks to operate within Liberia or use Liberia as part of a wider trafficking and financial network. The scale of such an operation raises legitimate national security and financial questions, including whether illicit proceeds can enter legitimate businesses, financial institutions, or other economic activities. That does not establish any connection between the cocaine seizure and the FOIA project, but it makes it reasonable to ask whether the source of funds for major projects has been properly verified. President Boakai stated publicly while appearing on a radio program that he was initially unaware of the project. Now that the project has become a matter of public controversy, I believe the president has a responsibility to ensure that the source and movement of the money are independently established. The project will be associated with his presidency for generations, and therefore transparency is his own interest. The question is not whether the president personally participated in any illicit activity. The question is whether any illicit proceeds entered the financial chain used to construct the facility. That question should be answered by competent institutions, not by political statements. The institutions must follow the morning. Four Liberian institutions have particularly important roles to play: the General Auditing Commission, the Financial Intelligence Agency, the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, and the Public Procurement and Concession Commission. The GSC should establish the public finance component of the project. If government funds were used, the public should know the appropriation or legal authority under which the funds were made available, the government entities involved, the amounts contributed and contracts executed, the payments made and the receipts of those payments. The GSC should follow the public money from government accounts to its ultimate expenditure on the project. The FIA should examine the financial dimension beyond the national budget. If private or non-budgetary funds were used, the Financial Intelligence Agency should determine the beneficial ownership of companies involved, identify the ultimate source of funds, examine suspicious transactions, and determine whether any proceeds connected to narcotics trafficking or other criminal activity entered the financing structure. This is particularly important because money laundering is designed to obscures the original source of illicit funds. The fact that money is ultimately spent on a legitimate construction project does not establish that its original source was legitimate. The LCC should determine whether any public official improperly influenced the financing, procurement, contracting, or implementation of the project. It should examine possible conflicts of interest, undisclosed benefits, abuse of public office, and other forms of corruption. The PPCC should establish whether the procurement and contracting processes complied with Liberia's procurement laws. If the project is a government of Liberia project, the public should be able to determine how contracts were selected, what contracts were awarded, the value of those contracts, and whether applicable procurement procedures were followed. Rule of law is one of the stated objectives of the government's arrest agenda. Compliance with public finance and procurement laws is therefore not a technical matter. It is part of the rule of law. These institutions do not need to wait for allegations on social media to become proven criminal cases. Their mandates exist precisely to examine public finances, corruption, procurement irregularities, and suspicious financial transactions. Gongolo said, the arrest agenda and rescue mission. This matter also concerns the credibility of the arrest agenda and the rescue mission of the Unity Party government. A government that promises to rescue Liberia from corruption, secrecy, and impunity must demonstrate those principles in its own conduct. If the 4-year project was legitimately financed, the government should have no difficulty providing the relevant documentation. If the money came from the national budget, disclose the appropriation and financial records. If state-owned enterprises contributed, disclose the decisions and transactions authorizing those contributions. If the Mano River Union or other regional or international partners contributed, publish the relevant agreements. If private individuals or businesses contributed, identify the donors and explain the legal basis and contributions of their and conditions of their contribution. If members of the Unity Party or other Liberians voluntarily contributed to the project, that information should also be disclosed. And if the government cannot yet establish the complete source of the fund, it should say so and commission an independent investigation. An independent audit or investigation will not weaken President Boakai. It will strengthen public confidence in his administration. Transparency is the best response. The 4-year project may ultimately prove to have been completely legitimate and properly financed. If every dollar can be traced to lawful and documented sources, then the controversy can be resolved through evidence rather than political argument. That is why I believe the government should voluntarily open the financial records of the project to appropriate independent institutions. Let the GSC audit the project finances. Let the FIA trace the financial flows. Let the LACC investigate possible corruption and conflicts of interest. Let the PPCC examine compliance with procurement requirements. And let the fundings be made available to the Liberian public, subject to legitimate legal and investigative limitations. Liberia has suffered for decades from weak accountability and secrecy in the management of public resources. The Boakai administration should not allow an avoidable controversy over a multi-million-dollar project to undermine public confidence in its commitment to transparency. Mr. President, this is not a demand for political theater. It is a demand for accountability. The government should answer a straightforward question. Who financed the 4-year presidential center? How much was provided? Through what financial channels? Under what legal authority? And to whom was the money paid? And because Liberia is simultaneously confronting a serious narcotic trafficking threat, the financial investigation should establish whether any illicit proceeds enter the project's financing chain. It is if the answer is no. So this is an open letter Tier 1 Gongolo wrote, or probably a commentary. He's concerned. We've talked the 4-year thing. Presidency is a government of Liberia's project. Let's move on. Senator Amara Conner has written again on his page. Yeah, man, say, why you there reading Amara Conner page? Already there is a controversy in Grand Bassa County about the port autonomy law. I listened to Senator Darius DeLong addressing an intellectual forum there, and he accused Senator Gbesong Afine of misleading the Bassa people. According to Senator DeLong, Gbesong Afine made the Bassa people to believe that it would be a board that will appoint the head of the Buchanan port. Darius DeLong said that is a misrepresentation of the fact. The board will be set up by the president, but the president will appoint the head of the different ports. You know, the port autonomy law, we are told, is being signed now by the president. And I think 6 months into that whole thing, there should be the appointment of a board. And then a year after, we should see the Harper port and the Buchanan port operating exclusive and independently of the free port of Monrovia. Let's go to Senator Amara Conner's latest post. He says, the danger of silence in the cocaine investigation. Liberia's growing narcotics crisis exposes a disturbing pattern in the administration of justice. Whenever multi-million-dollar cocaine syndicates are uncovered, junior security officers are promptly suspended or dismissed, often without due process or the opportunity to defend themselves. Meanwhile, senior officials who oversee these compromised officers in the command structures of our security forces remain in their positions, protected and even authorized to supervise investigations into their own institutions. The double standard. Small officers are sacrificed to create a false media spectacle, while the true architects walk free. The erosion of trust. As the previous administration handled the 100 million narcotics case, this government's handling of the ongoing cocaine case undermines trust. Liberians can see that those in power are protected while others are punished. When senior officials remain untouched and junior officers are scapegoated, it is clear that the fight against narcotics is driven by political convenience rather than national security. No nation can win a drug war when its own institutions are compromised. This is not the leadership the president promised when he vowed to confront impunity and dismantle the networks destroying our youth. Amara Conner said that silence, telling critics to wash their mouths, does nothing to bolster the security sector. Instead, it intensifies the culture of fear and impunity that has weakened Liberia for years. This would not cancel the corruption within our security institution. He says the danger. Drug trafficking devastates our youth, finances criminal networks, and destabilizes the nation, especially when the northern border with Guinea already on a strain. A government that penalizes the grassroots while shielding the powerful is not fighting a drug war, it's protecting a cartel network. Removing compromised officials from their posts without presenting them before a judge directly undermines the rule of law. It indicates that certain individuals are above criminal accountability, even when their actions threaten national security. This also sends a clear message that a justice system is applied differently depending on one's rank or connection. International narcotics operations cannot be dismissed as mere administrative issues. Suspensions and quiet transfer do not constitute justice. If security officials who have been removed are not held to the same legal standard as ordinary officers, then Kush must go was never a genuine policy. It was nothing more than a slogan. As a result, Liberia's justice system remains fundamentally compromised. Liberia faces a pivotal movement. Silence will only steer the nation further off course. Speaking out is essential for genuine change. When I supported President Boakai, I did not seek a position. I asked for action against illicit drugs and the culture of impunity. He assured me he would deliver. I said this during my endorsement speech. Liberians are still waiting. We will not stay silent. So the American said, what sense does it make when security people are being accused of colluding with the cartel, maybe taking money or blah, 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 and you just dismiss them and they go. They are not subjected to investigation and probably prosecution because some of the things they've done, they've been dismissed for, they've been suspended for, are crimes against the state. He's concerned that the president, the government seem not to be genuine in his fight against corruption because Conan believed that there are only low-class people that are being investigated and heads are rolling. I said something here the other day, I will say again. I have no evidence that any senior government official is involved. I personally, Piso, I have no evidence. But it seems there is something we all do not know. And I laid my premise, and I always reference a particular thing. There was a particular Senate hearing one time where joint security people went, they talked what they could talk. And then when the whole drug business started and Senator DeLong and others started repeatedly writing, there was a time Senator DeLong, Edwin Snow, Amara Conan, other than said, look, you stop playing with us. You know what we know. When you came here, you people know what you told us. I still remember that statement. They said, when you came here, you people know what you told us here. Some of the things we won't say, but you know what you told us here. That what you told us here is being interpreted by me as though these joint security people that went over there, there are information that they might have given the Liberian Senate, and they may have made some assurances over there, and the senators are not see. So I don't know. I see the consistency in Amara Conan on the drug issue. It seems there are some things that border on the national security of the country, of the state, Amara Conan and others don't want to talk about. But at the same time, they are saying, don't fool us because we know. We inside, we know what it is. We know what you're supposed to be doing. We know who are the people involved. Why are you protecting them? Probably those kinds of things. You and myself, we're not there. We didn't get facts, anything. We'll soon take to the last. Finally, last night, the Unity Party Alliance had a meeting. You know, the Unity Party Alliance is a composition of the different other political parties that supported the Unity Party in 2023. They had an alliance last night, and I was just jokingly saying to one of them, I said, I was in that meeting. I follow every single discussion. I was sitting somewhere, but there was a call for that meeting, and everything I heard discussed, I was listening to it. That meeting last night, there was a political coup d'etat that's supposed to go on, but the coup failed. The Unity Party Alliance had a meeting last night. There are two groups of people now in the alliance. And that meeting was particularly because I think 9 political parties, the alliance is a composition, I think 22, 9 of them, but, you know, a portion, but a higher portion. No, the higher portion still trusts the government, the other portion. There's a portion of the alliance that believe that, look, the government is not proceeding rightly. The government is not doing some of the things they say it would have done for the reason we supported it. We must be critical on the government. We must come up with statements. We must not remain silent. But the vast majority of the political party in our alliance said, no. The government is proceeding rightly. The Unity Party Alliance right now is headed by the Deputy Minister for Administration at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. His name is Gabriel Seli. The meeting last night was a political coup d'etat to take Gabriel Seli from power. And I heard from multiple sources that they wanted to put Imaya Gonkwe there as the new head of the Unity Party Alliance. So they went to the meeting, like they're having different agenda, but that was what was under their sleeve. They wanted to call for emergency meeting or orchestrate a political plot over there to take Gabriel Seli from power. But Gabriel and his likes stood the test of time and they overcame what I would call a political coup, and so he survived last night. The Secretary General of the Liberty Party, I show Martin Collar is still the Secretary General. He made a recommendation in that meeting that they should come up with something new called the Rescue Alliance to maybe counter the existing alliance. But the men have fought it too. So the point is, the Unity Party Alliance, they got their own issue right now. There's a serious thing going on there. A lot of them think the government is not proceeding rightly, and so last night meeting was a tense meeting. By the way, that meeting was held at the Liberty Party headquarters. People left from there not happy with the meeting, but they could not. The people who wanted to oust Gabriel City as head of the alliance, they could not do it because there was a pushback. Gonquet did not go to that meeting, according to my source. One or two other persons did not go to the meeting, but others went to the meeting. So the Unity Party Alliance is on a political time bomb. There are disagreements and all these kinds of things. Who knows? Probably this week they might call another meeting. But Gabriel City survived the first coup d'etat last night. Let's take few calls. Representative Alex Sonnenborn Noah Teme. The mayor in studio again this morning. 0777 700 995 0555 995 995, and the other numbers. We'll take few calls and then we'll go to our first guest right here. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Jackson.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Julius Andrews. I'm calling from Upper Forward, Louisiana Township.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson, for being very analytical on the issue this morning. And the issue of just, it can be overemphasized, Mr. Jackson, because these are things that hamper the future of our generation. And for people to be doing dilly-dallying on this issue at times, it got some problem. And Tiago Gwanglo, he never ceases to raise my curiosity, especially when he speaks to issue that is very germane, because there's a government we all stood in line and voted for because it's our inalienable right to do so. But if the government is not proceeding the rightful way, we gotta call the government to order, because there must be paper trails for everything, because no goodwill or something. Once it should have a paper trail that will take because the FOIA project went this way. And these are the people that allocate, but anything to harder than a little bit, she needed it, that is not cool.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you. Yeah, but I was saying something, but you're not sure, so you yell if it's more. Hello?
Yes. Good morning, Clarence.
Good morning, good morning.
This is Hillary, Bridget.
Yeah, Bridget. Go ahead.
So, I'm listening to you this morning on one of our comments, statements. You see, our leaders who have the power now to act at the appropriate time, they coming on. Why is it true that, the social media is polarized, but I think I'm not calling the power is only more in terms of making these government officials responsible, to the Senate. A continued and consistent engagement, with these people. So, answering the labyrinth, I think is demanding. And he going on all of the time, sparking, controversy. I think he needs to do more in terms of doing work then. Most of the time, on Facebook.
Okay, Chief. Except that that's the medium everybody can write for everybody to see. So, Hello?
Yeah, good morning, Clarence.
Good morning.
And let me say good morning to the lovely people of Liberia. I'm Major M. Sharif, Assistant Secretary General of the City Ethiopia.
Okay.
Let me say kudos to Councilor Tiago Gwanglo and Amara Kone. You see, Clarence, let me and she, the devil that is holding up our joke. Amara have said it in a lot of secret meetings and other things. If the government is not listening, it is Amara Kone's right to publish it on Facebook. I know they will come attacking, calling me, but you are alleging that people, the boss of the ORC, the former ORC of the DEA, allegedly took a bribe or pickup. And in our case, there's alleged information that the police director also allegedly received a Starlink. So a Starlink and a pickup, then you let one go and another one stay sitting there. then you are playing with the Liberian people. We are calling on the government to do an independent investigation that will bring no culprit to justice, but not to see other people and name and see other people.
Thank you, Chief. Let's go. Good morning.
Clarence, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is
Check call your radio off. Say on. Call it off. Call it off, my brother. Call it off. It's okay. We can take you.
All right. I'm the vice president for Operation M. Republic of Liberia, the most authority in Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
One thing we need to know is that
yeah, that radio stay on, my brother. Or either your phone is on, you know, how do you call it? You put your phone on loudspeaker.
Are you getting me now?
Yes, you're better.
Yeah, one thing we need to do is to be to ourselves. That today you can be in a position to investigate. You don't investigate.
I'm getting you. I'm not understanding you. Thank you. I don't know what happened, but I'm not understanding. We'll take two more quickly. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah?
Okay, my name is Patrick Espia, a staunch member of the Unity Party. I have supported the Unity Party throughout and even made financial contribution.
Yeah, Patrick.
And I agree with Senator Amara Kone 1,000,000 times. If the other people like they can insult me like Daniel Sanders and other people. Clarence Jackson, this is not what we stood and spent our money behind President Wakai to do. Drugs have taken over our country. Like one of your previous callers said, you can't let Biago go because of a car.
Bianco hasn't gone. Bianco is being followed, subjected to an
indefinite suspension without pay from the police and DA. You got to infer that he's gone. He's gone. But to see Gregory Como, who brought in a police officer that was dismissed because of armed robbery, back in the police force, to see Gregory Como fighting to promote that guy to 106. That went and took 10,000, according to the information, and took the 10,000 of Gregory Como, and Gregory Como took 8,000 out of that money and gave him 2,000. The guy is gone, and Greg is saying the police.
But Gregory would take money from the man, and it was a same Gregory man who suspended the man.
I'm not making up. It was all on the media. For Gregory Como to
no, but Patrick, for people to say things on the media is one thing, but I'm saying if Gregory sent a man and told some of the money, then it seems Gregory suspended the man, and the man is quiet.
It is the same media that said that Diago received pickup. It is the same media that say the Leroy gave the police Starlink. What is the difference?
The difference is, I leave the pickup on to some extent. I think the investigator, it was the truth. That's why they did what they did to him.
So what are we waiting for Gregory to recuse himself and go for investigation? Okay. Gregory cannot sit there. Have you, Clarence, before you let me go, have you noticed something of recent?
What's that?
The reduction in the serene of the police. Have you noticed that? Send the drug abreast. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed the presence of the police have reduced on the street?
I'm not getting your point. Your point is, wow, there were too much.
My point is, Kwabo, who was the chief of patrol, was instructed by a higher up to escort these drugs.
Okay, thank you. Let me just take LWFC MD Mo Ali as a final, because our guest is already here. Mo, go ahead.
Thank you, Clarence. First, let me state that the just ended caller is now a member of the Unity Party. He's not a supporter. I know him very well. He's a well-known citizen, so he should not call.
Where does he work?
Give false. What?
Where does he work?
Where does he work?
I said, what does he work? Because the Patrick PR man I call, I know the man very well.
He is not a Unity Party participant.
Anyway, maybe he lied when he said the man say Unity Party man, he spend money on your. Oh, but go ahead.
He did not. I know him very well. Now, Clarence, I read Senator Amara Conner's post, and I responded to it appropriately.
Oh, you responded? Send me your response.
I did that. Senator Amara Conner is doing double. He talked about double standard. His entire argument crumbles under his own post. To talk about the arresting and indicting smaller officers and even high-ranking officers suggests to me that Senator Amara Conner has compelling and convincing evidence against high-ranking officers, and he's holding on to them rather than submitting those pieces of evidence to law enforcement.
And more, let me just hold you there. And I think we are thinking the same, but mine is different. Yeah, yours could be, yeah, maybe he know the people, but mine could be that as a certain senator who can get security briefing from John Security, probably Amara Conner, and there's something they don't want to say because maybe when they say it really follow on the national security state, but they know what they're saying and they know certain people that are supposed to be arrested by now, but those people are not being investigated.
Precisely. I mean, to conclude that high-ranking officers left alone and they're not doing anything to them, they are going after low-ranking officer. For me, it suggests that you know those high-ranking officers, you have the evidence, and you are hiding them, and you are more interested in the politics of everything. That's what I say. And also to say we are silencing critics, we are telling critics to shut up. No, Senator Amara Conner is not used to being challenged. Since this draws broke, he, Senator Snow, Rodney said they've been some of the loudest critics and writing everywhere. Since
but more, why you did not respond to Gregory Coleman too when he said some journalists took money in the whole drug thing? Why he didn't respond to it? I mean, he knows some journalists, but he don't want to arrest them. He don't want to call their name. So why you respond to Amara Conner when he said small people are being suspended, big people still moving? When Gregory Coleman says similar thing like that, because when you say journalists take money, it's a crime against the state. You supposed to call Gregory to call the journalist's name.
Because I am under obligation to challenge for Senator. IG Gregory Coleman made his statement, and the journalist, the press union of Liberia challenging, and the press union of Liberia giving an ultimatum of I think 14 days or so.
It didn't stop you. It didn't stop you. It didn't stop you too from challenging him. You could have challenged him too. You could say, IG.
No. You responsible to challenging. You made the appropriate challenge.
Oh?
You've also given him an ultimatum.
Okay.
I am responsible to respond to Senator Amara Conner and others who feel that
the man defy responsibility. Okay, Mo.
Exactly.
Thank you.
You have my response in your DM.
Thank you. The man must divide his responsibility. The city Amara Conner is saying that higher or have not been touched. Gregory said the city that some journalists are taking money. It became a state crime. You know, he should have said who's doing that. And more to all agree on something, but probably from different perspective. You said maybe Amara no, and I think we almost the same thing. I continue to say it seemed to me as though some of the senators, because I insist, the Senate can have secret meeting, like Ellis Noir here, the horse, and they can have secret meeting with the joint security people. And sometimes certain things they can talk in that meeting. They can't talk it also. But a certain thing people say in a meeting, a hefty Amara, and they want to say it, but no way they want, because when they say it will almost be looking at, breach of public, I don't know how to call it, maybe you undermine the oath you took as a senator to protest certain things, but it's like certain things they know. They know certain things inside there, really hurting them. They want to count us out with it, no way, they just they're struggling. But anyway, our guess is here. Maybe when the appropriate time comes, like I said the other day, and my man Godwin was saying something, I said, the government is doing its best in this job fight. But public trust is lacking. I don't know why. People in the public still believe that there are just certain people involved and these people are moving in the streets. Representative Ellis Noah is our guest. My friend, good morning, man. It's always good. Thank you. I managed to also you here again today. How are you?
Good morning, Clarence. I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. And I want to appeal to you. For each time you invite me, we should be condescending. Because I work in the States and I know what it means. So even lose 1 minute of your time.
You
Because mind you,
forget about
Clarence,
working in the States.
what,
The last
mind
time,
you now,
you
I
came
just
here,
lost 14 minutes
the last time you came
out
here,
of my time.
the
Yeah.
last time you came
I
here,
was waiting for you.
No. The last time I had to go into, I had to go 6 minutes into other people's time. I let you go. It was now. It was 6 minutes
you
after
defend
9.
everything.
I'm not
Don't tell me
defending.
sorry.
I'm helping you, and so now you can help. Oh, they bought can't tell me. Hey, man, you look good.
Thank you, my
Where you
brother.
get so these suits, Alex?
From your tailor, you know, I've been following you.
Well,
too.
what do tailor?
I get your other video
No,
last
I beg you,
weekend.
It's everything, my brother. Hassano, I know you spent the season. I saw you, Jala Griffin. You took some guys there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Jala he can't dance the cruise song. He just trying, but he's not able. How was things?
Jala made some airwaves down there. Yeah, he learned some things. He took some contacts, and I think he's doing well. Yes, he took very good, important contacts.
To do what?
To go
help you in your district, yeah? But how was the celebration?
Yeah, it was nice. For the first time, I think it's unprecedented in the history of my district for a sitting lawmaker to go there 2 times in a particular month. So I was there July 9. As you may be aware, July 9 is a Sano homecoming celebration all over. People came from the States and other part of the world to come and celebrate with their county. So it was a park program. I was there up to the 17th, visited parts of the district, and then I came back on the 18th, went back on the 23rd, celebrated the July 26th at one of our areas where we have our farm and our home. So yes, the people were so happy. In fact, said, "Oh, this can happen." I said, "Yeah, when you like your people, it can happen." So yeah, we celebrated with them. We came back on the 28th. And then, I mean, it was a nice experience carrying your friends to celebrate with you, seeing some progress in your district, interacting with your people, doing their own view sampling with some of the louses. You know, there will always be issues. There will be a whole lot of convolution of political disagreements. But it's good because when you do that, then you're giving Clarence the full information to go. Everything should not be bread and butter for you. Some people will talk to Clarence, they will not talk to you directly. So the father, okay, Jara, you take the car, you visit some part of the district, and he, Ambassador Wise, and you know, they left me in a particular place and they were visiting projects at the same time, interacting with people. When Jara show you some of the picture, I think you want to be me because you want to go there. But it's a nice experience.
Except that they were using your car, so the people could not say anything.
No, but I carried them as a friend. I did not carry them as a journalist. I said we went to
celebrate. No, I mean,
yeah.
the car you get into you, that was your car, your picture on
yeah,
the car.
One of
the people
no,
know your car.
No. One of the cars I rented because
Wow.
normally I go with 5, 6 cars because of the.
Why you go with
people,
that kind of comfort?
The people that want to go, and that's why when you are people centered, that's what happens, and it's part of even telling your people also you are not just for them. You are for other Liberians because they were so excited seeing somebody from Bon County, seeing somebody from Nima, for example, seeing somebody from my man from Kema, Chaswa. And you know, and they were so excited, say, oh, our son is not only restricted to our county. So those are some of the things when you are a good child and your people send you in front to represent them. Those are some of the benefits that comes with it.
Thank you, man. I saw your homes in you know, I saw a photo of your homes. One of the places at night you people were dancing there. Yeah. So you got homes in different parts of the district?
Yes, geographically my district is bigger than Mosorado. Get 5 statutory districts combined to be my electoral district, given the population.
Your district bigger than what Mosorado?
In terms of land size, now.
The entire
everything you want to make
But
power.
the entire Sano not bigger than Mosorado.
You're talking about population.
Your late district will be bigger.
But talking about land size, chief.
Alex,
I get 5.
land size, Sano County not bigger than Mosorado.
Who told you? But
then
you need to leave Monrovia. Mosorado County, yes.
Land size, Sano County.
I'm telling you, my district.
Mosorado.
That's a different argument. You want to go G-Play News and do that all that one, then you get good show, then you want me flower with people. That one when you call me, I can be sleeping sometimes.
I'm not making plans. I just want.
Yes,
I just want to get it ready.
But let's go to the substantive. To a man, even if you are walking to where some of our people live and those places are not accessible, it takes me almost 3 to 4 months to complete a district. I'm talking about walking. I'm not joking, Clarence. 5 statutory district.
It's a statutory.
No. So giving, some county, the number issue is a problem now. And electoral district is decided based on
The number.
the number. So they will do combination of statutory districts
To
be
have
able
an
to get
electoral
that,
district.
to be able to get that number. That's the point. So San will have 9. Out of the 9, I control 5. So San Quentin,
Compressing your district. It's
yeah,
actually big.
yeah, electoral district. So you get Joison, San Quentin, Tayo, Wakaba, Sincon, and 5. So it's now something to see. So what happened, and the people are so happy. This is the first time to get a youngest. By the way, the whole county to have elected a young person to represent the county. Okay. So in the history again since 1847.
You the youngest?
Yeah, I'm the youngest. When I got elected, or in my 30 something. Now maybe older than me 2 weeks, but it's not too important. Yeah, that's why I say now. In 2 weeks, then you stay older than a person.
Now you can bring the flower.
Yeah,
you can bring the flower.
Go to the.
I forget saying for Sano. Yeah.
So, I visited 99.8% of the district with a thank you tour. Before, sometime in the past, maybe it would take 2-3 years. And even when you're going for election, you can be explaining the reason you did not see me in the 6th year. And but I think the blessing on my part is the energy I get on motorbike at a certain point. I walk at a certain point. I do the normal thing that anybody could do as a young man. So, yeah, there is a play in Sino. Some part of San Quentin, you got to pass through rivers and, to get to some of our towns because it bordering with rivers there. And, where you get Sita, Tunita, Bafa Bay, and blah, blah, blah. I'm waiting for the dry season. Those are the only places, the places in our district that car can reach. I've already, assessed that play where the thank you tour with our people. Okay. And then those places that car can go, you got to get in Kingdom. And we did that during the campaign. So we should be able to replicate that in telling our people thank you. Because if you don't do that, then little people are good for only breakfast. They are not good for dinner. In other words, you can go to them when you need a vote, and you cannot go there after winning the election. So yes, I'm comfortably seated now in terms of that thank you thing. And I'm so happy that every part of the district is being touched by development. Like you said, I don't know how you get the homes. By the way,
I saw it. I saw it on your page.
Out of the 5 statutory district, out of the 5 statutory district, I have 3 homes now. Okay. Each of those 3 homes, you get 3 to 4 persons working, 2 women, 2 security, and making sure that the place maintained. Because one of the things, building and sustaining them in terms of the physical infrastructure is another problem. If I were to come to Monrovia and just lack the place, automatically if you go there, it will not be the same. So yeah, we have people manning them daily, making sure that air goes in, and those people, they are putting food on the table of their family.
When you go to these thank you meetings, tours, do you explain to your constituents about some of the issues you people discuss at the legislature? Because I know sometimes they are concerned about certain things. When you go, they want you to explain to them. We heard one from Mario.
Yeah.
Why you took the other decision? They say what did happen over there. Is that the case? And
yes,
do you honestly explain to them?
Exactly. We do that. And then most importantly, when you hear legislative report, one of the reasons is being part of our workings as a normal routine is to make sure that so for example, there are a few bills I get at the Senate, right, to be maybe passed or sent to the president, for example, in this year. At the same time, there are progress being made in other parts of the district on a daily basis. Some people may not know because they are not on phone like you and myself. Mm-hmm. During that general assembly, which is the constituency report, that's the time. I'm just saying generally that's a prescribed time, right? To be able to tell your people what you have done since the inception of this year work at the legislature. At the same time, your work in the district, make sure your people understand your workings, some of the things you did, some of the bills you co-sponsor or maybe sponsor. some of the active decisions that were taken, some of the, lapses that we have collectively. Mind you, now, decisions that are made, sometimes some people are staying, some people will not vote for them. But then generally, since we operate through NOBA, it's also banning on you. You got to explain to your people. At the end of the day, you say, yeah, I did not do it, but yes, you're part of the whole. So yes, those are ways that our people. But then the curious one, whenever you went on a different
Alex, you are
operations.
correct. I just pull up. I like to research when people talking.
But Clarence, I will not
Sano
laugh-
is significantly larger than Monserrado. Sano spans approximately 10.130 to 10.254 square kilometers, around 3,900 square miles, making it one of the largest counties in Liberia. In contrast, Monserrado is the smallest county in the country, covering roughly one. I need to study this
But
thing more.
wait, Clarence, you know what I like your business, and maybe trusting it because you're clever, be better, right? But you see some of our people interested or also
That now you ready to
reposing
premium.
confident.
If you can't be
They
the
repose,
contrast,
they repose their confidence. When I come into you, I can be thinking, what should I say?
I know.
Should I lie? Because the other day when I use a word, you try to, and
Oh, that
if
one,
you
but
do
forget
that,
it.
then you try to maybe because the person you're going towards, you know them. So I'm not that type of person. That's why my politicking, my people benefiting from it because there is nothing that I would do to
I owe
lie
you
to
one.
them. Yeah, thank you. So yes, so the county, my district specifically, Clarence, there is no part of those 5 districts that will not name 2 to 3 projects, either ongoing or some are finished. And the reason these things are happening, these processes that we are into is a public service, and I know there are expectations, whether personal or maybe general good for the people, that what people follow you. So out of 11%, I was not a handsome man to have won the elections, but there was special value, and that our people saw in me, given even all of the convolution, Sano being one of the convoluted county politically, to win as a young man, battling me at the time I was in a port as port manager. There were a whole lot of, sometimes you carry some things here nationally on happenings in various counties. So it was a heated election because those people were not lying on you because you did that. They were doing it to verify you to be able to have a space. And one of the reasons our people will say politics are dirty. Yes, to do that in a rural area, either you gotta say I'm from a place and you can't sit down here, you may our place to be, not having opportunity, or you see Clarence Jackson, nothing that he can be doing. When you go to a hall, you not get seat. I gotta say something that will verify you. But also those politicians who hang on that are people who are not doing anything. And there is no space now on our leadership that travel politics will work to make sure our people are divided. Because after elections, our people are together. Then by the time election comes, then people who don't have a stake in terms of something to do substantive for the people, then they want to aid in a certain section of the play just to be able to get political relevant. And that's why, Chief, first time since 1847 again, Sano people are listening. I'm the first type of person to go in a cool people home to build a home, even beautiful than the ones that I have in the Sapo region. And to do that is to tell the people that since you gave me your house, I give him back to you my heart. My heart is pure for you. And we can work together. Unprecedentedly also, Clarence, this is the first time I don't have fun in my own. But I did it in the cool people. I did it fine in the cool people. And what would
You're just being politically
well,
strategic.
no, are just being comfortable, and our people are not bad people. They are just being misled by politicians who want to, categorize them at the detriment, and bamboozling them during election time. I know you won't take phone again, but I know
No,
it's
all
a
right,
normal,
forget
yes.
it. Yeah,
And
normal thing.
during election time to make sure that they get. So yes, to do that, Clarence, you got to tell the people, no, I'm different from the other people. There was the papi who said to me, my son, we are not bad people. We want the best person out of all of you as Sano's sons. One of the reasons sometimes you can see the travel team playing in the elections and everybody voting the way we vote is because sometimes you carry a particular person from a particular locale or maybe from a particular tribe, and in a county, they don't come back, they don't look up to us, they don't even stop to us. I say, Papi, I will not do it. He said, we're going to give you the district key. One of the reasons I have not invited you when you see that key, the district key, and maybe you have interest, and to visit Sano more. So the Papi did that key and gave it to me.
The district key.
The district key. And that's why all of the people who are floating politically in a district and want to something, I encourage them. In fact, I want over 50% to come and contest because I'm the strongest in the history of the district. And even I'm the developmental. In fact, the people call me developmental hero in the district. Again, you can go there. You can ask some of the people, open the land for my district people. I'm not talking about it. You left from the district since 1990 and you in Monrovia, but you don't want to see good things going back home, and you always see those things. If you look at my new documentary, Clarence, it's now an AI documentary, and that's why when I come to see you, I appear before you as a poor or particular land aside for Sano people. I know all Sano people are not in the interest. I mean, it's normal. I'm not God. Even the same mob that said, Osana in the higher, the same mob say, I crucify him. The father, as a young man, from one stage to another, every stage has its own enemy. It's a normal routine in life. And those are all vicissitudes that goes, and with life's journey. So I'm not, but the bigger picture is our people. You're taking the phone again, Clarence, when you do that.
No, go ahead, man.
And that's a bigger picture that go with our politics, and maybe what needs to be happening now is what benefits our people. Should be our general concern. And that's why the district is being transformed in less than 3 years, and I would say in less than 3 years. And am I complacent? No. Am I also at where we were as a district? No. Do we envisage a brighter future? Yes. Could we also hold together when it comes to development, and then later we can talk about politics? Yes. And if we all as politicians have those mindsets for our areas, I think we will do good for our people.
Are you coming on some political pressure in your district?
So
I say that because, Alex, I say I follow you a lot. Even your homes and everything you're doing, I follow you. You write a lot on Facebook. Like sometimes you throw jabs. Sometimes you say you tell the other person like, they defeated you months ago before you want on the side.
Yes.
I mean, it seems you're on some kind of
sometimes
pressure.
Somebody will do certain project and they did not do anything, certain things,
and you will say you can't. Why building Google thing? You building more houses for
us. So that put chair there for you.
You know that you under pressure.
No, why you got pressure? Even you were sick over the weekend. When you call me, you looking good. Even look at me, I've been sick too. You call me and I was not feeling all right. But look at me. You were even pressing my suit. Yeah. I look nice.
But political pressure, you mean sick?
No, but so listen, Clarence. It may be a normal phenomenon in politics, but not in mine. And the reason is people do that when they are lazy politicians. And Clarence, you see some people, they are defeated and they are happy, and people still praising them. Because if you are being entrusted by your people,
somebody now send message, they say, I don't know, they say who, they say,
and you perform.
They say it is pay Bettian pressure on you. I know who they call pay
Bettian. One of it, data boss, maybe sending you the test. But the real issue is...
No, that on the commenting on the live.
Okay. Yeah. The real issue is, this is a man in the 21st century who went to the place bidding... Have you eaten Wonder?
Yeah, I like Wonder.
Okay, so
except that when Sam go there, I can feel
you know the Wonder pole are the stronger pole that's still raw in the interior. So in this day and age, a person who want to represent our people being one or poor. And then, unfortunately, maybe a hand did not read that he was incapacitated or maybe insolvent financially. While turning over the place, they sat on a bench. And then I was going. So I stopped to a store and bought chairs for the place and said, I'm the father of the district. For each time you make us strive, we appreciate it. Despite this is not the type of development we want in this day and age. So I bought chairs, and the people said, this is the first time that even, he said, our father. I said, yeah, they say you're changing the politics. Before, when politicians do a particular thing, the other person will not go around there. In fact, I went there, I sat and despite that in my chair because it was a more something now. And I told them in the district, let's do our best. Despite, all hands may not be equal, But we don't need a district that will regurgitate all of the archaic and development that our people experienced in the past. So what I did, I bought chair. Do I happy 100% that we have a play with one upper? No. Could I also say, I mean, the member of financial capacity and he did not do it, I will not preempt that. But the fact that he even put more together, at least he get a sense of development. Maybe in the future, maybe after my
Meaning when it no, not even after you. When a man beat you, the man can do better.
No, you will not
if
come
the
and
man
run
doesn't
beating
have,
me.
if he doesn't have anything now, he building more horses.
You will not,
When he become representative,
so when I
the
never
man just
had
trying to
anything,
tell the people,
the man been working at NRC for 21 years.
I know the person
No, I'm
anyway.
telling you, yes, I just giving you the historicity of the discussion because you brought it up. Normally I will come here, I would not want to son.
No, I brought
So
it up because 1 minute, somebody they call Otis Jesus Bordeaux.
Yeah.
You know, on the video, live
Yes.
people can be making comments.
Okay,
Yeah.
he's one of the data boys. He goes.
I don't know what
within
he
the
called
district.
data, but let's go ahead.
Yes,
Yeah.
people that you get data to call or maybe
Okay.
comment. Yeah. So he been with NRC. They were he was one of the few people that they sent letter to that in 3 to 4 years they will be retired because now you say 21 year our policy by 25 you may be retired. So now he's looking for retirement. Unfortunately, he have met up with for development and chief strategist and who. I mean, Clarence, I know we really did not follow me when I went to the port. When I went to the
No,
port,
I didn't follow you.
I really, and today I'm proud. When people say, you have people who will hate you. But if Clarence was serving here as the CEO or manager for the place, and a bigger radio station than this place comes and picks up Clarence to go and manage that, then it tells anybody conspicuously that there are efforts being made here. Nobody that can argue that. If you don't perform here, people monitoring. Even by the time you do a particular letter, somebody will say that man was okay, he did not do well. So from port manager, one of the bigger jobs in the county, strictly our promoter as representative. And that's why I'm validating the interest and confidence our people repose in me by evidence of the numerous developments that are going on.
Alex,
all that I want is I alone cannot do it all.
Okay.
Clarence, the people gave us $37,000 as legislative fund. And thank God, maybe every time I come here, you don't ask me the question, but you ask other people. I've been there almost 3 years. Out of the 3 years, I received 2, which is $70,000
For development.
Because of the impasse that we had. We were on the other side. So, impasse, what comes with it? It has its own repercussion and, a whole lot of implication based on, the intensity of what is happening. So, yeah, we're imagining that. Do I regret that? No. I stand by my decision at the time because I was convicted to doing that. And I did that. So, yes.
Okay.
I've done approximately over 15 projects, right? In 2 years, 8 months. They occur making it 2 year, 8 months. So if somebody were to do a financial analysis in tabulating what maybe 70,000 will give you in terms of material, times the 2 to 3 times transport to get to my district. Mind you now, sometimes I get to Buchanan when the roads are bad, put those things on the Kino, it goes to Greenville before distributing them to various sites. So even in Morovia to be your own 2 rooms house, as we speak, for the first time, getting involved into every sector of our society, infrastructure-wise. We are in the health sector building nursing quarters for our nurses. It have never happened.
You build nursing quarters?
Yes. Yeah. And that's why when I come here, I don't come and then say, don't put some people on the line. Some people should not talk. No, Clarence. Get special line for them. Yeah, there will be few, and people with a mindset that, yeah, he's a young man, why is he progressing? But again, it's a special God's blessing, and I see it as important as anything will be. I would not also use it at the disadvantage of others. I will also encourage our colleagues that all of us need to work together for the betterment of our district.
Sino Representative Alex Sonnenborg Noah is here. He's our guest this morning. We're talking about Sino politics and some of the issues in his district, he's talking about nurses' quarter and those kinds of things. Now, let me ask you, as a former port manager of the Port of Sino, I know I've not seen it on the executive mansion website, but we are hearing that the president has signed the port autonomy. I think it's two different pieces of law.
Yeah.
We'll go into it later on when we get the version, maybe when it's printed into handbill. What do you make of autonomy for the ports of Greenville?
For the record, I did not vote for A, and I have no regret.
Even as a former port manager?
Yes,
Why?
I did not vote for it.
Why?
And by the way, I'm the only port expert in recent years from the former port managers around the country. I went to the port of Baltimore in the Maryland, and I attended the port of Tacoma training center in Washington State, the port of Tacoma. So I did general port management and conflict resolution when there is a particular issue like the situation in Buchanan at the time. You know, normally one of the reasons even the port manager position was changed to port directors, I came by and did a memoir to the then MD Bill Twawe and said, Chief, do you know why they call you MD? He said no. And you were hypothetical. He said no. I said, because you manage as director. So our name should be changed to port directors. And that's how instantly after convincing him, our name was changed to port directors. But initially, you know, our port manager, right? The reason we're facing the issue of drugs right now, and I will take it from the steady perspective, now our normal
talking.
CDC and Unity Party perspective. We have a fragile country, or maybe given the porosities of our post system, our borders. I mean, anybody, you get the AFL, you even get the Marine Department or Coast Guard Department, they are also incapacitated logistic-wise. If you open all the ports, given even Monrovia Port, you don't have the sophistication to be able to deter those harmful societal, harmful, and, you know, things that may cripple us as a country. Do we, or have you also agreed, or maybe you have done your research, what really, or why, or up to this time, or you who I know, have you really studied, maybe in your room, and say, okay, seeing the airport arrested the drugs, why they draw real pass? Hypothetically, think about it after the show. Because if the drugs are past the airport, they wouldn't be going by and being arrested. I mean, that's a person logic. So, these drugs, boss in our country or the cartel in our country, I hold a stronger view. It may come from the port. It may not be your specific port, and I want to be fair to the conversation.
The discussion.
But our ports, for example, in my district, there's a place called Sanquin. If you have a ship now, you can bypass Greenville Port and go straight to Sanquin from Grand Bassa.
Really?
Yeah, because you have a natural breathing space. You have other places in Cape Mine, other places originally they are not ports, but you have that in every environment that a particular vessel or feeder craft can breathe. So I am saying, and even during the argument, I insisted
that's what I wanted to ask. Did you offer this expert opinion?
I did that
at the lower house?
I did that, and I told you I did not vote for the bill. And I'm telling you, as a former, my country benefited, but I'm telling you for the record, I did not vote for it, and I'm not doing it for individual. I'm doing it from a steady perspective. If there is no mechanism put in place, you have huge crimes in our country. Because mind you now, it may not be only drugs. Somebody will say, oh, the other port I just opened, the people blind. They don't even have, in fact, they're baking for
equipment.
For equipment. They're baking for people to go and expand the port. Have we also studied that the prerequisite to any port being autonomous or maybe being a viable port, there are prerequisites from the ISPA compliance standpoint.
What are those requisites, for example?
And, you know, so you need to have what we call the navigational, so a plane going to Rabafi, you see those lights in the night, right? That indicates that you're reaching to an airport, right? Those things also in the port, they get various points to tell the international parlor that you're reaching to a port. Also, every 10 to 8 years, a particular port should be dredged. Because under normal circumstances, as you loading, as you breathing and discharging, and vessels, you have those wreck, or you have those sand, or you have those, if that lost, you have those things going back into the water or into the basin. So those years is being prescribed on the compliant to be able to get a port dredged.
Besides you as a lawmaker and a port knowledgeable port person, right?
Yeah.
Do you know whether when the argument was going on at the lower house, did you people invite experts to come and talk about port they build and what it would mean for the country?
So people in our committee room, I learned that they invited those people.
Okay.
And I would not want to disparage what my colleagues has done. All that I'm saying. And the reasons people, and sometimes that's the reason our institutions have some issue. Even some lawmaker can pass bill and they don't know what is in it, right? Because when bills are preferred or maybe originated from either of the sides, the experts for that particular topic, they should be part and parcel. They in return can brief the plenary or the committee to be able to get an informed decision.
That's how it's supposed to be.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Is that not how it is?
So you can do your own research. Somebody will be on agriculture, for example, and in the past and now, and I'm just using it as an example, on a particular committee and they did not go to school or did not read anything about that particular committee. Again, nobody will call and say that lie. And I'm saying
no, I mean that's a fact.
Yeah, leadership past and and that's how it have been. It should be a relationship between Clarence and myself. I insisted, if you look at some of the video, I insisted that it was not a good decision for us to pass the port autonomy until we can also use the MPA to make sure that all the ports are viable. Now, the other aspect of it, Sanopo is largely locking port. Based on the weather condition or maybe the climate change, our season are unprecedented right now. Sometimes in the dry, you see a whole lot of rain. Sometimes in the rain season, you see sun shining. Now, Sano has over 250 employees.
You mean the
Generally,
port?
Yeah, the port is not only the basin. Some of the prerequisite things I'm talking about are the infrastructure that bring money in preclusion of the basin. A vessel did not come. You need to have warehouses, because if Clarence wants to carry a goods now in the rain season to Sano, what he thinks about first is to have somewhere, and when he discharge a good, to be able to save them. That's a storage. Those are things. You need to have a viable security system. Both
are those things very hard to do?
No, not hard to do. You can't be in the water and say that now you come in look for clothes.
Oh, your point is we should get ready. We should do those things.
You gotta do those
before
things.
Even thinking about the law.
Thinking about that. Because even MPA, moreover, and that manages all the ports has their own constraint. We're even operating the various ports. That's why you see soft contrast.
But people believe these ports are lack of capacity because of the way it is. We only depend on Morovia, but people think when they are autonomy, when they are autonomous, the port director or whoever, they see where Dukle can travel out of the country to lobby for the Freeport Memorial. The man from Sino, the man from Maryland, and Bassa, they will be able to do things.
So looking at the laws and making sure, because every budget year, if the port submits a budget, every port infrastructure budget allocation can be in there, right? If the receiving of those monies are the issues, that's why the MPA get on board. That's why we have government with us, with oversight. If any MPA manager or director reports that last year Sanopo was to receive 200,000 for infrastructure, but we did not access it, and it's normal like other ministry and agency. Sometimes money will be appropriated and you will not access it. So those are things we need to be looking out for and make sure, because mind you now, as an MPA, they have accrued liabilities all over the place. What the timeline you even gave them 1 year is insufficient to put themselves together, to even pay pensioners and other people who they owe as a MPA. So those are things, because now Seku,
You think the framers, all the stakeholders and the architects of the law, all the people, they didn't consider all of the. That's why sometimes I keep asking people whether they can really get the technicians involved.
So what you need to do now, you can do your research later, get a heads of the committee in both houses, because now
we're just talking about it, but when the president signs it now,
no, what I mean, it's important also, because I gave him my counter view, and I even said it to my colleague.
Who's the chair on that?
So Austin Taylor is a chair on maritime, and when you have somebody on SOE, but when it comes to maritime plays a very, and I think for the passage of the thing, he was a chair, right? Again,
Austin Taylor from Maryland?
Yeah, from Maryland. And we are only two. He went to school in a port area.
So he's knowledgeable about it?
Yeah, he's knowledgeable.
How did he vote?
He voted for. That's why you see the report now.
Okay.
That's why you see the report.
So it means,
but we have a disposition.
So it means even both of you who are experts in the lower house, you are divided. He's for, you are against.
Exactly.
Meaning you see it from different perspectives.
But to be sincere here, at a certain point, he himself was not happy. But we have the tradition.
No, don't talk for the man.
No, I will talk for the man, my friend.
No.
Yeah, but ain't not talk for Julia here. One time when they say Julia,
no, the man voted for. Don't talk for the man. You voted against.
At a certain point, you are not happy.
I will not take that
one. That not your friend.
No, not my friend.
Man, you are not being elected.
All of you are lawmakers.
Man, the last time they said you contested for you chairman position in your place before come here, they beat you.
That's true. When people hear my name for contest, they can get scared. I can't forget about that thing. I contest before already beat me. But you can't talk for Austin. Austin voted for the thing.
That later, I know what's going on. But again, that's the type of country we have.
Then those things are not in the interest of the country.
Again, sometimes when things are starting and you're talking, people will not see it until it happens. Then now on the radio, you say, my man said it. I bet you on a critical thinking, look at our Morovia poll. There are things that are still being smoked. And from out of the poll. Then you're talking about opening Maryland. Maryland is even least. If they have 100 staff, are thinking if you don't have investor in 2 to 3 years and they are on their own, how they will pay their staff. Those are things. You see a whole lot of protestation and mark the day, keep the video, you know what I'm talking about. Do I have 100% authority to say no? Yeah. No, I don't. But do I also have oversight? And as a lawmaker, that tomorrow things of such we're discussing will happen, and we're talking and say, oh, Clarence, we manage you. You'll be hearing and say, oh, someone came to Maryland and then he carried a bad thing here, and then they will send this, they will send that to make sure they investigate. Until you have this sophistication, because they put, and again, Sekou is not my man. And in terms of, he's a young man, but I think there are strides being made. Look at even the port right now. There are technology that have been put in place in terms of human passage, vehicles, and regulation to digital gate and all of that. Again, Chief, the only place we have in this country is our country. If Clarence is performing at a certain point, there are lapses. Do I, responsible for them? No, we're talking also, but we should also make sure that the strides we have made has been recognized also. Because if I went to school in a port setting and I see some of those things that are prerequisite in other places that even qualify each port to be a compliant port under the ISPS or a starter, then I say, and I'll be taciturn on it because I came from a particular party. I'm now a Liberian. No.
Okay,
make sure
Alex,
the right
we will hold you there.
Make sure that we do the right thing
Alex
as a country.
Sonnyboy Noah is a representative of Sino County. We'll hold him there. It's like we brought the man directly in the area. So if it is one, the discussion shouldn't end. But this is obvious. Lawmakers will get divided on different issues based on the studies of political interest. 0777-700-995. We'll take few calls and we'll go right back to Alex. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Piso.
Good morning.
Good morning to the lawmaker there in studio. This is the chairman of the Green Revolution, Joseph Jeremiah Testimony Party.
Okay.
And I join you from Central Morovia.
Yeah.
thanks to you, Clarence, and the entire workforce of OK for the work you do and the way you do your election to the guests who are knowledgeable to certain areas. And let me also say thanks to Senator Noah. He's a young man, been doing for long. He's progressive. To admit, he's down to earth. I've not gone in Stano before, but got a few friends who are from Stano. They will always tell about Senator Noah developmental activities in that country. The only player I will disagree with him slightly is that he himself has identified the huge challenges on the port. So I think Sekou alone cannot do all. So there is a need, a compelling need, that the port be decentralized, and thanks a million that they are decentralizing. And so when you have people now who paying attention to Stano Port, Grand Bazaar Port, then I think they will be effective. Like the regular account, people now will be able to go around and go fetch for normally Google goes, you're going to be talking for Morelia Port, Stano Port, and Grand Bazaar Port. But now,
thank you. Let's hear you. Good morning. Good morning. Hello?
good morning.
Oh, you now want to talk? Good morning. Let's hear you.
Good morning.
Yeah, you are live. Oh, your problem is you're listening to radio at the same time you won't be calling. So the last caller still speaking on your side. Hello.
Good morning, Clarence.
Good morning. Good morning.
I'm concerned this morning. D. Eric Pai here.
Yeah, Eric.
The honorable said he received 35,000 to 70,000. It means that he was on the other side.
He said 37 times 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 37.
Okay.
So it's like 72.
Over 70,000 for his district, right?
Yep.
But we have listened to the letters of Luca Kamara and the other people who said they were on the other side too. They have not received a cent. What did he do to get his own money and his colleagues are crying?
Exactly. Yeah, Muka Kamara and others.
To studio. They representing
so they can talk for themselves. Eh?
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
Good morning. Good morning, Piso. Call me Piso.
Yeah, good morning. G-Play Yensa. Let's hear you.
Good morning, my brother. Thank you. Let me appreciate your madam that allow you to come very early in the morning all the time to disseminate information to Labrador people. This is BG playing Yeswa.
Again, even sleep good. My 8 hours sleep no way. Not easy.
And I know when you're getting up, she gonna just cross her eye and say, "Hey, go."
Yeah.
But anyway, madam, just hold your mind. Things will get better.
Go ahead.
Let me say good morning to my representative,
Good morning, people.
Alex Noah. You know, one thing I like about him, Piso, he never did to say, oh, he always said, see, I'm better. So, Piso, the thing with all of the explanation he made, one thing I admire about the honorable representative is that he's in a district, and all of the time, people around him, he allowed people speak to him, talk to him, and he moved in the community. How, you know, Piso, one of the greater things we should do as a leader and features leader for our country is that to be accessible to our people. Let's say, for example, yesterday, guys were at the tire shop in Greenville, and one person joined the strike. I call him, and by the time he called me, I called him back. The noise went wild because Piso, what the people need from you is you should be available to them all of the time. That's the reason why they voted for you. But now that after election, you take the sinker and chonga in the ocean, then you wait for 2 months to 2029, you come out and start talking on the radio, or you're not going to them. Then again, Piso, let me publicly appreciate the president for approving that decentralization bill of the port. I'm giving a perspective from the public administration perspective in a sense that to decentralize all of the activities of the government. Look, Piso, development will be rapidly growing as we move. Decentralization is very much important in every society.
Okay,
if you centralize things, you may probably be a demagogue. Trust me, people. I mean, Piso, we will not get anything going good.
But sometimes some of these things are highly technical.
Piso, I agree with you. Don't get me wrong. Like for instance, let me give you one example. The declaration I was made that primary education, the children should go to school free. Yes, but go to Panama. Out of 10 persons in the school teaching, you got 2 persons on payroll. The rest of the guys are all volunteers. Now, if you're taking away the school fee free and making it free, what is the next thing to replace it? But the fact of the matter is, if you decentralize the process, things will happen. That's the point we're talking.
Thank you, Gibley. Thank you. Let me take my final call. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Clarence Jackson.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm a hard listener with you.
Hmm.
That's what it is. First time calling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to tell the lawmaker what you see down there is not true. Well, people cannot stop. I'm comfortable too. My mother was one of time, you know, mother's son. I'm the first thing. Yeah, myself in the same photo. Yeah, I'm a kiddo man. But you're talking about houses.
When was the last time you went there?
I was there to 2025.
Uh-huh.
My uncle there, he was a former district.
You were talking about horses. What you want to say about horses?
Go see the house he built up to the second tower or the football field he's talking about. That thing is not representing lawmaker.
Bossman. My man, wait. Me, I'm not from Sano. I don't know about your politics, but I have seen all the men houses. You say those horses, well, I can see that I say it don't represent the man in Sano or whatever.
You, the horse the man built a right side of the second tower. Over the front behind the football field. And what you see, you know what I see is true.
But I have seen all the houses, and I think those horses, even in Mora, they're very good horses. Hello, final caller.
Morning, Clarence.
Good morning. I'll tell you 30 seconds. My last caller already on, but I didn't want out of courtesy.
I want me uncle.
Yeah.
I want me uncle. Clarence, my name is Charles Roberts, and I'm of Rufio. Clarence, the much publicized put decentralization bill. You can underline the word is a wicked bill. And that bill was with the AU and Sonable said today, you know, because it is passed on our pressing able, he said keep the video, keep the recording, keep his appearance. So I also said keep my statement. In the next 18 months, now people will get to know that the bill is bad because Clarence put more money from continued interaction everywhere, and somebody like expect. How many continuous ship were birthed at the port of Maryland? Sano. For Grand Basel, maybe it could survive because the distance from Basel to the urban city is short. But how many human beings in Maryland? You know, as compared when it comes to economic activity, I mean business war. So people say, oh, you try to diminish the people there. No, they are there. But in one continuous ship in Maryland, upload and continue. That businessman, is he going to make profit as compared to when he continues in Monrovia? So, and because of that, they want to put their money. That capacity will not, the port of Maryland will not enhance it in the next 24 months or 48 months. So it's going to be a problem. They will not be able to pay their staffers. And at the end of the day, you're going to see people will be protesting for their pay. They'll be working, they can't get paid. Then the bill now what we say now will not be actualized. It was wrong for decentralization, but you don't know it right now.
Okay, Alex, let's come back to you. We can take like 2 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, I like 14, but no problem. Maybe it's something. Oh, you 14 of mine. Yeah, so, Clarence, again, I told you every family, every society, you have your enemy. The other men call our family near, all of that. If I said there are people who have problem with me building horses as a representative to live in a place. Now he say, now represent me. So you see two different views. Right? If I build a mansion again, they will say, oh, you're doing things for your people. But I go and see the nursing quarter, go and see the school are building, go and see all of the modern Palava and City Hall in all of those places. They are modern because I feel they are for the public. If you now, who renting in Monrovia, coming criticize my 3-room house in the interior with air conditioning and everything, then you're part of the people in the family that don't appreciate. Now, poor development comes with rules. And that's a point that I left out all over the world. So because of the bureaucracy here, Clarence wants to go to Buchanan. It's easier now for your container going just a 3 day because you have a road to bring the container. Think about Sino, giving the inaccessibilities of our roads. Think about Maryland. So yes, again, it has gone to the level that nobody have decision beside the president. Again, my country benefit. I'm just saying for the record. And that record history has its own way of saying, yes. Do I say 100% there will be no progress at all? No. I'm saying for now, it's not red. It's an avenue for people to bring sustenance, whether arms, whether drugs, as we're discussing other things in the country. If the country as a country in the capital city, we cannot contain certain things. then think about the porosity of our post, and then you have Maryland combining with nearing countrymen,
Aricles.
articles, and other places people will be coming from all over. But again, the interest of our people, more especially large man, because we vote here, we vote in here. If TD wants side, I mean automatically the day is being, and
we all voted.
Voted. So yes, we agree that the country needs decentralization. Now see the issue that is coming about. They're trying to now travelize the whole thing about the person who will be appointed to come from the county. Now you're missing on the technical
Senator
aspect.
Besson spoke about
Yeah, you're missing on now the technical aspect. It is a political economy of certain people for the aggrandizement, personal aggrandizement of certain people. That's why they're preferring. The protestation issue is in the next, if even the 1 year, if Clarence was to say, okay, I want to develop Sanopole, it takes you almost 2 years to mobilize the type of equipment you need, transportation for it to come. So that process is not 1 year thing, not 2 years thing, but to give the ultimatum if that 1 year is being, and to say in 1 year time, everybody on their own, good. I know the government can maybe turn one into, I wish we could have done it too with a just thing. Again, just to in 30 seconds. Finally.
Yeah.
I think Gregory Kumon needs some explanation. There is nothing American saying that Gregory did not say. On one of the video, Gregory said there are certain highs up in this government that are part of the process. And it had to something. Clarence, you watch that video. So then you're looking for different suspect. Somebody say, our power red, I live here. Our baby better than it is. The in the horse here. I mean, the parents should question that particular person who says that.
Okay,
And, so I just want to say, because you did not ask that question.
Thank you,
and then when we
Representative.
can, we should not restrict our issues just to our, because we are not, every bill that we prefer, everything, it
Okay,
impacts
Chief.
a country, and we should be
All
able
right,
to
Sonny
chip
Boy.
in.
Thank you so much. Okay, man, we are leaving him to let him go. Our friends from the Central Bank of Liberia are around. We'll be taking them very shortly. And we'll talk about Liberia's non-performing loans and the upcoming resolution conference. CBL, they are here. We'll take them very shortly.
11 days of people, we are known as First Republic, the Lone Star, shining evermore. It's flying at the time. Show your allegiance, show your loyalty.
Well, our CBL people, I hope they are around. They can come in. Let's start. So we move on time.
Who are called by money, we humble themselves and seek my face. I will rise and heal their nation. Liberia will rise again. Nations will come to your rising. I prophesy. Kingdom will come to your light. Together, let's keep the peace. Cause in unity we will build our nation. Arise, Liberia, arise. Arise and take your place. Whatever the locals are meeting, arise and take your place. The flag of Liberia is flying on. It's flying on the time. Showing the
At least CBL and maybe see somebody that I've never seen for years. Okay, so we'll start the discussion very shortly. I'm sure there are two officials of the CBL. We'll go into introduction, and then we'll talk about the issues.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of Liberia and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. The flag of Liberia. We have two Central Bank of Liberia officials. We'll start from there. They will introduce themselves and then we can move on. Good morning, right here. Just introduce yourself. Oh, see. Okay, just realize that. Yeah, let's hear you introduce yourself. Yeah, it's on. It's on.
All right, good morning. My name is Foncia Mohamed Donzo. I am the Senior Advisor on Regulatory and Supervisory Affairs to the Executive Governor's Office.
Okay, yeah.
Good morning. My name is Jeremiah D. King. I'm Assistant Director in Regulation and Supervision Department at the Central Bank of Liberia.
Okay, Mr. King, Jerry. In honor your department, what do you do, particularly at the CBL?
So, in the Regulation and Supervision Department, we are responsible to promote safety and soundness of the banking sector, and other financial institutions have been licensed by the Regulation and Supervision Department under the Central Bank. So, most often, what we do is to go to the banks and see that depositor funds are well protected, and to also ensure that the rates that the bank is taking is a commensurate with whatsoever profile that they have, and end of the day that we're able to work with them to solve any other issues that will have any adverse effect on the economy as well.
Okay, Mr. Donso, what's about you?
Thank you, Clarence. I am Senior Advisor to the Executive Governor on Regulatory and Supervisory Affairs. That means I work closely with the department, the Regulation and Supervision Department, to ensure the safety and soundness of the financial system. Okay. Until recently, I was actually the director for the Regulation and Supervision Department.
Okay. So generally, how is the CBL?
Well, the CBL is doing great. CBL is undertaking a lot of projects, and all of these things are to ensure that the economy moves well and that the financial system operates in a safe and sound manner.
Okay. So today we will tailor our discussion on something particular that has to do with Liberia's non-performing loans. And you have an upcoming resolution conference. That's why I know. When we say non-performing loans, firstly, what are we talking about to set the basis for our discussion?
Thank you, Clarence. So I'll start. My colleague will come in. Mm-hmm. Before I go into what the non-performing loans are, I just want to say that at the end of the discussion, we'll also talk about one of the projects the Central Bank has recently undertaken, which is the collateral registry system. And that will be launched this month by the 27th. So I'll also will say a small thing about the collateral registry system. So when we say non-performing loans, these are loans that businesses and individuals go to the banks, commercial banks and other financial institutions that actually lend money, and ask for these banks or these institutions to give them money, to lend them money. Mm-hmm. And then they take the money. Usually the money is given with some agreement and contract in terms of the repayment. Sometimes it's on a monthly basis, quarterly, or in lump sum. But when these businesses or individuals take this money, then they fail to pay, either because of some unforeseen circumstances that impair their ability to pay, or somehow they deliberately refuse to pay, but they have the ability, they have the means to pay. So in that case, these facilities remain on the book. These facilities remain on the books of these banks without repayment. So the banks and the financial institutions are not able to recover this money, or they are not able to recover it in time.
Wow. And so let's talk a little bit about why are the non-performing loans more than just a banking issue. What is it more than just a banking issue? Because people take money from the bank, somehow say it's just supposed to be a banking issue, but it seems it's more than just a banking issue.
Okay, let me just come in. So what makes it more than the banking issues? Like, for example, if, like Mr. Donso said, if a bank extended a loan to a company, mm-hmm. and that company fails to pay that money is already deposited money that's supposed to have been repaid, and the bank will use that money to extend to another institution or another borrower, or let's say household or what have you, that will be able to. So it's a whole cycle. So when the bank, when there is this problem where there's the ability to pay by is not as it is in line with the terms and conditions. So end of the day, the bank will have to make additional provision, and those provisions will affect the bank's capital, the bank's liquidity. And end of the day, even those that have invested within the bank, the shareholders and what have you, the little money the bank's supposed to make as a profit, that profit will just go right back to be able to offset some of the provisions that they have taken against this bar loan. So end of the day, what does it do? So bank individuals or companies that have great ideas that are supposed to be financed by the financial institution, the bank, they find it difficult obtaining loans. They go to the bank, they say, I got all these brilliant ideas. I want to start up my company, or I want to expand. Can I get a loan? And there's no way they can get a loan because non-perform, the money they have already, the bank has already extended, they can recover that money. The money is being tied up in non-performing loans. So those are most of the issues we'll have. And end of the day, it will create this bottleneck. We'll have job creation. You will have problems in terms of job creation, because if someone came to the bank to take a money and they're trying out to invest that money into a company, that company will provide jobs. And now if they're unable to obtain that loan, so those are supposed to be employed by that company, they already will not have jobs.
Is it really concentrated amongst Liberian banks?
Yeah, so almost all of the banks have some level of non-performing loans, but in terms of the level, it varies from bank to banks. There are banks that have higher non-performing loan ratio than other banks. And maybe I just want to add something to what Jeremiah was saying. You see, what non-performing loan does to show that it's beyond banks is that, so let's say OKFM wants to maybe create a branch in Ganta, for example. OKFM doesn't have the money. They need money to do that. The fact that the banks have given loan to other people before and they haven't paid, the bank will not have money available to give to OKFM. What that means, OKFM will not be able to expand. That's one. Two, if OKFM had expanded, they would have employed people, create jobs, the economy will have moved around. So what non-performing loan does is, one, when people come into open banks, they bring in money. Say, for example, the minimum capital is $15 million right now. They bring the $15 million. When they bring the $15 million in, they start their business to operate for their operations. And then what happens also is the fact that banks have opened, people go there and deposit their money. In Liberia, the main source of funding for banks are depositors' money. So if people deposit their money, the bank have to pay interest on the money. And to pay interest on the money, they have to give loans out in order to get interest to pay these people. Now, those that take the loan, if they don't pay, they do few things. The capital that the shareholders brought or the investors brought, the capital will be eroded, because if they give money to you and you don't pay central bank, or the requirement is that money that the person has not paid, that become a loss. It means it has to go against your profit, which will eventually hit your capital. Secondly, the banks will not have sufficient liquidity, because the banks expect you to pay that money, so they have sufficient liquidity or sufficient money to give loan to another person. They won't have that.
They won't draw to the maximum. Yeah, but
they won't have that. Thirdly, that opportunity to create more business, to create jobs, that will also not happen. So definitely NPL or non-performing loans is just beyond banks. It has more impact on the economy generally. Because you see, private sector will only grow when they got access to funding from the banks. The fact that they don't have that funding, they won't grow. That will affect the economy generally. So in terms of the concentration, yes, there are a few banks that have higher non-performing loan than others. Central Bank has said that, look, for banks to operate, there will definitely be non-performing loans, but we say your non-performing loans should not go beyond 10%. I think we got like 2 or 3 banks that are below 10%. Most of them are above, but 2 or 3 are way, way above. And the monies are with...
So at the moment, the ones that are beyond 10%, our benchmark, they are more than the one below.
Yes.
Now let's talk, and maybe both of you can talk about that since you are the experts here. I know there could be a lot of structural causes of the non-performance crisis we're talking about in Liberia. Let's talk a little bit about some of the structural causes.
Well, so there are a lot of structural reasons for non-performing loans. So you would say that, like I explained, when people want loan, they go to the bank. The bank draw up agreement. So we call that loan underwriting. So the loan officers at the bank will draw up an agreement in terms of how you repay the money, what kind of collateral you present, what kind of cash flow they look at for you to do the repayment, and then they apply the interest rate. Now, that agreement, which we call the loan underwriting, sometimes is flawed. Sometimes it's not done properly, either due to lack of knowledge by the the relationship officer, or deliberate. Secondly, sometimes the banks don't have proper information, and we'll come to the proper information aspect, because that information asymmetry actually lead to banks relying on information that is not relevant anymore. That is, if I have taken loan from a bank and I cannot pay the money, there should be information available to other banks, so that when I go there for money, they will be able to say, oh no, Don, so you took money from bank A or bank B. You haven't paid, so I cannot give you money. So that information need to be made available. And central bank is actually doing, creating some.
Don't we have that kind of existing structure?
What we have is largely manual. So central bank has actually undertaken 2 projects. One of the projects that I mentioned earlier, which is the collateral registry system, will be launched this month, and that will give proper information on collateral.
Because you can go about borrowing all over the place, you're not paying.
Absolutely. In fact, there are people who have gone to borrow from 2 banks. They each use the same collateral, and if they fail to pay, you see the 2 banks fighting over the collateral. One collateral. So the collateral registry system that I just referenced will be able to resolve that, because it will provide information.
Whose role is it supposed to be to create that kind of regime?
Well, it's the government, actually, the central bank. So the government to the central bank, because we want the financial system to work in a safe and sound manner. So we want to make sure that we provide all the information. So central bank has now created, in fact, it was there before. The collateral registry system was there before. But that time we actually developed it to deal with only movable collaterals, that is vehicles, office equipment, and stuff like that. But now the enhanced system will also involve immovable collateral, that is mortgages or real properties. And then there are other improvements about it. The payment system will be such that the way it is currently, you have to walk to the central bank to make payment. And based on central bank deliberate policy to digitize the financial system, that this new system will have a payment gateway where you don't have to walk to the central bank. You, Clarence, can remain right here and pay, your fees in order to utilize the system. The other project that the central bank is working on, which should come out later this year, hopefully, is the credit reference system. That it will be able to provide information on all of the borrowers, right? If you're a new borrower, it will say, oh, this is the person first time borrowing. If you're an old borrower, it will tell you this person has been borrowing before. The person has borrowed from A, B, C banks, and this is the person's repayment history. Okay. So what that means is it gives information to the financial institution.
Because as a matter of fact, there are some good borrowers.
Absolutely. Yes, and this is important for those good borrowers, because if you are a good borrower that you've borrowed from either from the same bank or from different banks more than 10 times, and your repayment history is perfect, I will fight to get you. What that means is the borrower should even be able to discuss the interest rate that should be applied. In finance, we say the harder the risk, the harder the return. So if the risk is high, if the bank perceives you to be of high risk, your interest rate will be high. But if the bank perceives you to be low risk, your interest rate will be lower. So that system for good borrowers, they will definitely get lower interest rate. They will also benefit from this system.
Jerry, one other?
Yes, yes. So, like Mr. Donso was saying, so being the NPL issues being structural problem for Liberia. So, one of the things we have seen, let's go back to the macroeconomic pressure we had during the COVID and the Ebola. You know, during COVID, there were businesses, but then those businesses had they had huge challenges. Some of them closed and unable to pay their loans. So all those loans have already gone by. Then we got to COVID. COVID was the same thing, the lockdown. Like you got the service sector, you got some of these people that got hotels and what have you, people that got bars. Those bars were running, but during COVID, when you had all the lockdown and what have you, they found it difficult to be able to pay on their loans. So all those have contributed to the high level NPLs we have in the system. Second, we have one of the major things that has to do with collateral enforcement. Though we do not have, you might have all the issues, people pledging collateral across banks, but even those ones that banks will go to the court. How long does it take for the adjudication? It's the adjudication, so it's a lot of process, a long time, and people now take advantage of the system and try to be a willful defaulter, and end of the day, the level of NPL keep increasing in the system. So this is why when you have this conference, you have all the people, like we talk about even unique identification that's going to help. So if you have the system right now that's going to identify buy or good borrower, there should be unique identification. So if you say Jeremiah King could be 10 or 20 in Liberia. So who is actually Jeremiah King? There should be unique identification that is attached to my name. So if I'm a buy borrower from bank A, if I go to bank B, the system can be easily able to track me, or you, the lender, can be able to distinguish this is actually Jeremiah.
Okay, that's good. We are hosting 2 Central Bank of Liberia officials. This morning we're talking about Liberia's non-performing loans, and we'll come to talk about a conference that is supposed to be coming up. Jerry, let's also focus a little bit on legal and judicial bottlenecks. How do they play any role in the issue of non-performing loans we're talking about?
So they are very key in addressing the resolutions of NPL. So if we have all this system in place, so the CBL will not be, the judiciary have their own aspects. So if you go to the bank today to credit and you pledge your property, so before all the foreclosure and everything is done, it has to go through the court. So now the banks will have collateral, but how to close on the collateral, it becomes a problem for them because sometimes it takes long. So you even go to the lower court right now, the lower court might award you the right to foreclose from the bank side to foreclose on that property. Then that borrower might take appeal to a higher court. It goes up to the Supreme Court. And when you look, sometimes it's taking like 2, 3, 5 years. And like Mr. Donso said, the money that the bank has used to lend is just short term, because most of our deposit just people low saving, and they keep it's just you save and use and spend, and so you don't have this long term deposit that people take their money. It's 10 years. Let me just put the money. I will not touch it. So if the bank cannot have access to that money and it's taking 5 years before it can even foreclose on a property, it becomes serious issue. So those are some of the issues that we want to have all the stakeholders on board, and we have the commitment that we all can be able to address this national issue.
We have debt code. I don't know how are they not fast tracking these things. But let's move on to talk about the proposed national, NPL resolution conference. Who are you bringing together? What do you want them to do? How is it significant?
So let me take this. We are actually bringing a lot of stakeholders together in Liberia, and also a lot of professionals who have actually worked on resolving non-performing loans across the sub-region. So we are bringing professionals from across the sub-region. We could get people from Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, just across the sub-region. Secondly, we are bringing all of the stakeholders in Liberia. We're bringing businesses, the judiciary will be there, the chief justice and the associate justices will be invited, judges will be invited, and the commercial court will also be invited, the judges at the commercial court. We have other players like journalists will be there, students will be there, cross-border women will be there, the business association, the different business associations will be there. So all of the different stakeholders will be there. And the reason for this is that NPL is a major issue in this country. And like we said, some times ago, probably 2024, the NPL ratio was close to 20%. December last year, it was around 12%. It's still over around 12.5, 12.8%. This amount, if you take this against the total loan, you're talking about around $71 million.
Really?
Yes.
Really. And not just that alone.
Depositor money.
These are depositors' money. You know, I'm sure OKFM has account to the bank. And now if you look at the fungibility of money, the money you get to the bank, there's nothing written on the cash say this is the cash that OKFM brought. So it means the cash you put there could be the money that has been given to another person. Secondly, sometimes last year, as per policies, you know, best practice, if loans are given to an individual or business and they don't pay after 12 months, it's classified loss. And then if that lost loan is on your book for 2 years, you are compelled to write it off. So central bank, with financial institutions, the banks, they wrote off, the banks actually wrote off around $40 million last year.
What you say when you say roll off? What do you mean?
What we are saying
You
is
waive it?
No, not waiving it. Absolutely not.
Yeah,
Because
please break it down small.
Because when we say write it off, so if you have, you know, you got the balance sheet, right? For businesses, they got the balance sheet, they got the asset, liability, and stuff like that. Loans are part of the assets. But if the loans are on your books, on your balance sheet, and they are not performing 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, why are you keeping them there? So it's good to take them off the book to make the book clean, but you are required to actually pursue them in court.
You pursue them. Okay.
Yes, you have to pursue them in court. So yeah, the non-performing loan conference, what we expect is with all of the stakeholders getting together, everybody should be able to explain or to state what they think is responsible for the non-performing loan in the country, and then what solution they think they can proffer. So we'll take all of the issues that will be raised as to reasons for non-performing loans, and then we'll also accept all of the recommendations, and then we'll work with it. And now this is a national conference. It's not just central bank. It's for the entire country. The intention is at the end of the day, there will be a communique that will be developed.
And then that's where I wanted to come. What's the expected outcome, for example? Because it seems it's a big, I don't know whether it's national, but probably national, you know, regional, something, because people are going to come from out of the country too, as you said. But so what are the expected outcomes?
Yeah, so at the end of the day, we expect a communique that will be developed by the Secretariat, which has been put together by the Central Bank, and there will be different recommendations in this communique. And what the Central Bank will do, along with all of the stakeholders, is to set up committees. These committees will not be Central Bank committee, because this is a national conference. It could be that we could even get journalists, for example, on some of the committee, if it's possible, so that everybody will work to make sure that we resolve this issue. If there are issues with the judiciary, at least they will be there, they will hear the problem, and they will also be part of the solution. If there are issues with the loan underwriting, which has been identified, the loan officers will be there, and the recommendations that will be proffered, all of us will work on it. So it's about coming up with holistic recommendations to deal with all of these issues. And this has taken place in other countries before, and we've seen that their non-performing loans dropped significantly.
Okay, so I will take some call, but I was just concerned about, and probably maybe I don't want to call institutions names, and maybe they could be outside the discussion, but just for idea purpose. Why, because we know the institution, individual microfinance scheme that are succeeding in the country. What's responsible for that? When we stay talking about non-performing loan, but maybe somebody will talk about brag, the way how are they managing theirs? They're making some progress, but then they're still non-performing loans.
Yeah, so you see, when we talk about microfinance, like BRAC and other institutions, there are several microfinance institutions here.
Exactly.
Let me say we have about 20 microfinance that Central Bank has licensed. And, if you look at microfinance, where they focus are largely small business people, small individual, I don't like to use the word at the lower ebb of the society, but these are small players, in the economy. And what they also do is most of these small players don't really have the kind of collateral that banks actually request. And for some of these small players, with the kind of business they do, the turnover for the business is so fast. So the loans are usually short term, so not 3 months, 6 months maximum, because the person, the business woman is able to buy. Say for example, somebody selling coal. The person is able to go in the bush, buy coal, and bring it sell, and sometimes the profit is good, 100%, and they are willing to pay. So when you look at microfinance, because of the lack of collateral and all of these things, the rate is also there. In the event the person doesn't pay or something happens, the person doesn't pay, BRAC and other people will be hard for them to recover anything. So their interest rate is a bit higher than, some are higher than what normal banks, charge. But because of the close monitoring and because these are small, businesses, it's a lot easier to monitor them and to get behind them.
I see the idea. Yeah, Jerry.
Yes. Just to make two things clear, Clarence, before we move forward, like Mr. Donso was saying, I love to make this clear. So the write-off, I know when people hear about write-off, they're like, oh, since the loan, because Liberia is small. I know you, you know me. So if I'm working in a commercial bank right now, and your loan was part of those loan I was rating off, I'm going to call you. I say, Clarence, that loan I've been delinquent long time, you haven't paid, my bank just wrote off the loan. So you think like since they are rating all the loans, you got no responsibility now to pay back.
So it was sound to you like they've waived the money.
Yeah, they have waived it, but it's not the case. So when we make the banks to write off the loan, it's supposed to clean their books and provide the provision. But now they will do the first thing they got to provide a strategy. The recovery strategy on those loans, how they're going to go about it. So they're going to, if they're salary loan, they're going to go to the offices where the individual work. They will have repayment. They follow on those loans, and the payments are even being made quarterly. They're submitting to the CBL for us to know that the loan, we're not just rating off and the bank is sitting. Because end of the day, we want to know how much being recovered on that loan, what the efforts are being made in the legal process, or how they're following on those cases in court. Then the second thing I also want to make it clear that this whole conference is not going to be like a naming and blaming game. So I'm going to have a forum where everyone's going to come to know what the issues are and how, after we have diagnosed the issues, what are the treatment, what are things that we can do as a country? How can we be able to tackle these things? Not like, the commercial bank saying that, when I go to the court cannot fast track my loan cases, or they are borrowers there because they try to manipulate the system. So those things are not going to be the case. We're going to have like a dialogue where people are going to come. The solution, end of the day, is one goal. So we can be able to promote access to finance end of the day. Because if the NPR issues kind of being addressed right now, then prospective borrowers will have access to finance.
Okay.
Because the same thing we talk about.
Now, before we take the line, Donso and King, I'm not a student of finance. I'm not a financial person. I'm just curious. Don't you think one of the reasons why there is this huge non-performing loan situation in the country is a result of how sometimes lendings are done? Take for example, what do you say to people who say sometimes at some of these banks, people work in a system, right? And sometimes lenders, the people who will come to borrow money, do not go to get the money, they do not pass through the kind of processes they're supposed to pass through, because I got Jeremiah to the bank, so Jeremiah will lead the process, talk to a man in some kind of way, and then when the money come out, I feel that my man. So, I'm just thinking, what role does lending play? Do people, and it's good you're coming to have the conference so people express the way, but I'm sitting because sometimes some of us, we know how somebody think, you get plumber in the system, they want to beat the system, blah, blah, blah. I think sometimes it is the way lending is done that's causing some of these problems. What's your take? You are the expert.
No, you are right. And that's why when we're talking about the structural issues, we say underwriting. Okay. So this is...
Your own opinion can be too technical.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
but this is how the person go through the application process and go through all of the vetting process, and then eventually giving a loan.
It plays a role.
Yes. And the thing is, before the loan is even given, the person has to sign an agreement as to how they will pay, and if they don't pay, there are a lot of things in the agreement. And I agree with you. Many times, borrowers don't even read the agreement. Borrower don't even read the agreement. I'll give you one example. And recently there was a case, I think it's still ongoing. I would not call name.
Yeah, you don't have to.
A bank and of a company. So this company borrowed and they didn't pay. The loans have been non-performing for a long period of time. So the bank decided, okay, since you did not pay, we'll accrue interest. That is the interest that was on it before, and we'll also charge you for failing to pay additional 14%. But in the agreement has said they were going to charge 25%. So the borrower was not happy. They went to court and said, oh, the person charged too much. Now the court said, look, the agreement says 25%, but the person is charging
Yeah, man said 14.
So I mean, you should even be grateful. But the point is, people will not even read these things. It's good to read them. It's good to negotiate. In as much as you get your friend to help you, go through the process. It's also good for your own experience.
Sometimes you get financial people to explain to you.
To explain to you. It's even good if you
It is
get
the same
lawyers.
as opening an account to the bank.
Yes.
So you will not believe it. Sometimes people go open an account to the bank. They just tell the bank, please help me. I sort of do it, put my knee. So now they don't really understand
Absolutely.
what it is.
Even some people, when they go to take loan, there are different form of loan. You got the regular loan, you got overdraft. Some people say, oh, I want overdraft. And then overdraft is such that you get charged on a daily basis. You get charged on a daily basis when it comes to overdraft. So long your account is overdrawn, you get charged on a daily basis. Unlike loan, where they will give you the amount and the charge, in Liberia, our interest rates are fixed. In other countries, based on the movement in the monetary policy rate, the interest rate changes. But here, interest rates are fixed. So it's good for you to read these things. But I do agree with you, the process of structuring the loan sometimes have some flaws. And even when we've been to the courts before, the courts have said, look, we know this person took loan, but the way the loan was structured, it makes it difficult for the bank to even recover on it.
But
So yes, that's a problem.
what role does the central bank play in this? You know, sometimes when I go to the bank, in my mind, you know, and don't get me wrong, even at this level, sometimes you don't understand some of the banking issues. And I'm thinking, why can't we have people in the bank here whose responsibilities will be to provide education for people who are coming to probably open an account, borrow money from the bank. So you get people in the bank who, when you can't open an account, you can open an account, yeah, okay, go to that man. What kind of account you can open? Saving account. Then they will explain to you per month what you need to do, your responsibilities. I mean, what role does the central bank play in that? Because a lot of people go to the bank for interaction, they barely understand some of the things. And if, for example, I am supposed to be paying some kind of service fee per month, and this is where people say, oh, when money in the pocket, you have to take money from on your account. So, because sometimes you don't understand these things. I'm thinking, what role could you play? Maybe you just answer your discussion, but I'm just thinking.
No, you are right. So, you know, the central bank as the regulator, sorry, the central bank as the regulator will not micromanage the operations of the banks. But there are a few things the central bank has decided or made sure that banks have them in place. Almost all of the banks have operational offices, and they have desks for customer service. These people that are behind these desks should be able to explain to the customers what
before you open
before you open any account or do any transaction, they should be able to explain to you. Another thing the central bank has also required banks to do is to make sure that they display the interest rate and charges clearly for people to see in a banking hall and in areas that are conspicuous. Because even if you know all of these things, if you don't know the charges, you know, you may decide to do transaction with a bank B that's charging you 15% when bank A could charge you 10%. So we want customers to be able to make informed decisions. Additionally, central bank, with the communication department of the central bank, we have actually been doing lots of financial literacy and awareness program. We are doing this with some of the journalists in this country. We've partnered with like the Female Journalists Association. We've partnered with the cultural ambassador, just to make sure that financial education, financial awareness, public awareness are undertaken every time.
Okay.
Yes, probably maybe there should be some structured program, you know, some point in time to provide this kind of education. But yes, central bank is actually doing a lot on that.
simple English radio programs or jingles. I'm just thinking.
Yes,
Jerry.
we do
Finally.
have some of those jingles and what have you, but like there's also a requirement from the central bank that these financial institutions, just what the things you're explaining, that these institutions are supposed to actually play that role. So where we have the market conduct and discipline, so you go through those regulations, we try to also make sure that the banks will adhere to them. So where before you open an account, they need to be able to explain to you, or they should be able to hear you all and all those requirements, anything that has to do all the charges and everything associated with opening that account, you should be able to understand it better before that account is open. Then within any other changes that will be while you have your account open there, any other changes, these things should be communicated to you by all the means available in lines with those regulations. And we make sure that sometimes we go there to see when we're having an on-site examination, we want to see all the suggestion boxes that are in the banking hall. We want people to make use of, because some of the things they say we just talk, and sometimes these things to actually be able to do, like you go to the banking hall, you have some of these issues, you raise it, you put them in the suggestion box, or you go and ask if you went to the customer service desk, you did not get the kind of redress you need to be able to make follow-up. Those things when you document, because sometimes we want to follow all these things and what have you. We, like Mr. Doso said, we might not be in a bank every day, but these things we want to know, like these procedures are actually being followed by the licensed financial institutions.
Okay, Fonzia Mohammed Donzo is the senior advisor on supervisory and regulatory activities in the office of the governor of the central bank, and Jeremiah King here is the assistant director. They are here, we're talking about non-performing loans, and you heard some of the concerns. 0777 700-995, 0555-995-995. If you send a WhatsApp message with questions to ask them, of course we will do. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Clarence, and good morning to your studio guests. My name is Andrew Wisse, and I join you from Bandersville this morning.
All right.
Clarence, I'm more concerned about Access Bank. There's the thing that Access Bank always tell the customer that, which they call, when you go to the bank and you take money from them, they say you should pay 30% for CBL. And that same 30% from the money that you take, the interest will be added on that money. You are responsible to pay, which is disbursement fee. Now the rating for Access Bank is very high. And these are the things that cause people to not perform, non-performing companies. Because some of the businesses, you take the money this month, next month, you start paying right away. All the interest, the physical capital begin to go back to the bank along with the interest. So the CBL too need to try to call this bank. It's good that they're calling them now, so they can review some of these things and see how better they can structure it, because it's not helping like doing business. And the business is not growing because of the too much charges on this loan.
Okay. Andrew,
thank you so much.
We've heard you. They've heard you. Hello? Yeah. Good morning, yeah. Are you there? You went off. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah?
My name is Daniel Philly, and I'm from Bandersville this morning. I want to ask a question to the loan officer, but good morning to your studio guest. I think when you have a collateral, working land, houses on, when you're giving a loan, I don't know how much we give the person. If the person wants for example, 5,000, 6,000, whether it can be in that range that you give them the loan. So, and moreover, I want to know when will they, because I didn't to the show early when you started. So when will the conference be?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
They'll talk about that finally. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Fodi Kane, calling for Chocolate City.
Mm-hmm.
My father is GT Bank, special character. The people open an account for my daughter, they not explain anything to the legal. Now the money they get open an account, they take it every month 2.5, $2.50. Later on when they go find out, they tell us,
so to ATM, so to check, and no one may want to understand. So the bank need to make aware now, and the children know what is doing there, or why I can't open it.
Okay.
Now the girls are taking pay, the bank is taking money from the girl account.
Okay, my brother. Hello.
Yeah, how you doing, Clarence? How is it?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, my name is Michael. You know, the loans, are concerned about this, the bank things. I understand that some of them, the way in which they carry on the loan thing is not really necessary. You know, they do things more, especially they grab people. You know, they will tell you that you're supposed to pay for 10 otherwise the 6 weeks or the 20 weeks. Then after the 20 weeks, you have to pay, then they will tell you that you should pay additional 1 week for no where they will not give you no receipt or any reason why you should pay the 1 week. And if somebody is owed in, and if you go after you have to pay your 20 weeks, you go back for another money, they will say you should pay for the person who been owed in and refuse to pay their money. So I really want to send you people to tell the reason why these loan people are doing this thing, whether they.
Okay. Hello.
Sir,
Good morning. How are you? What's your name?
I'm William Hill, sir, and happy to hear your people in studio here this morning. You know, it's like some of the banks are getting by what they deserve from the customers.
Really?
Why do I say that? Yeah, because some of them treat the customers ugly. They got loan agents that are all over the place, putting you under pressure to say, I will make sure you get the money, but before you leave the bank, you have to give me XYZ.
You mean when you go to borrow money?
When you go to borrow the money, the loan people right there will tell you, say, oh, we can work it out some kind of way for you, but you have to give us something on the money. And you too, you are jailed for the money. You have to, my brother, if you go to borrow $2,000 from the bank, you might leave the bank with $1,500 or $1,300. Because when you finish tipping everybody, then you already empty going back, and everything leaving your here as a weight, and you carrying the entire weight now to start paying back. And one of the things that is being done to the poor market women in Liberia is a disservice. They are not aware of what they are getting into. So a woman is selling her business, she got her money already, and she got her $5,000 business. Somebody come and say, we can help you get a loan, and you will increase the business. She feel that they're helping her, but when she go take that money and put in her money, then all her money go, she start to pay right away, because you take the money, the following month you have to start paying. And the banks, the customer don't know that you have taken a loan. They might not use your staff for a whole week or so. And then when the month ends, you have to pay the money. So thank you for the kind of show. We appreciate. We need to talk more. The banks are getting what they deserve to some extent. A lot of things are happening. Thank you very much.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, Piso, good morning.
Good morning.
There is DJ because I call my private in Lakwasi.
Yeah.
I think some suggestions I try to, of the get the central bank to share with some of these loose schemes or banks. I think the easy way that people these loan will be waived or people will refuse paying the loan. I think I would suggest that if I want to take a loan, of course, maybe the bank will tell me to deposit certain amount consistently for 6 or 5 months, and then I can take a loan, and that loan I'm paying is also added to the percentage, of my deposit. Of course, then you will have people refusing to pay loan, because if I come and pay loan, and then I refuse to pay, they bear loss. Because from my own experience, there are many times, people they bear loss because customer money that what they use to give loan.
Okay. Let's hear you. 2 more, then we'll go back. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah?
Good morning, Mr. Jackson. Let me say good morning to your studio guest. My name is Mohammed Samodu Balo, and I'm in from Looking Town.
Yeah, Mohammed.
Thank you very much. Let me appreciate the studio guest Ali for coming up on the public to elect our minds in terms of taking loan from the bank and the courses. But most often, Mr. Jackson, it is important that the central banks are able to play their oversight role. Because most often, you see, they own something of payment. Most often when we go to the bank for the loan, the bureaucracy to the bank is too much. And the high cost of the loan. So I don't think it would be important if the central bank can able at least to talk to to private banks, so that at least our people can able to have some flexibility when it comes to loan taking. And sometimes even when they loan, Mr. Jackson, it don't even take time. The bank to start running behind you in order to pay back. And the cost of the loan is too high.
Okay. So these 2 CBO officials are here, they're listening. We're not taking any more call because we got like 7 minutes. will go straight to them. Yeah, Donzo and King, you hear the colors. Most of them, shifting the blame right back on the banks. The way lendings are done. The Cynthia was talking about where people in the system will just say do something, and then they are also talking about the payment plan. Yeah, let's hear you.
Okay, so we'll start maybe from up down on Jeremiah and myself interchange. So the first caller, from Barnesville, was talking about Access Bank and stating that Access Bank request for 3% for CBL. Absolutely no bank or absolutely central bank plays no part in the loan that the banks give. Central bank benefit nothing. I also don't want to say he's lying, but I find it hard to believe because we see the interest rate and charges for all of the banks. It's possible somebody could have said, oh yeah, you need to give this for central bank, but probably it's that person, saying it. And in addition to what this person said, if you look through most of the stuff, complaints, loan officer doing this and that and all of that. Sometimes these are not to the knowledge of the top management of the bank. They are not. And also central bank is not aware. What we can say to borrowers is when these things happen, try to reach out to the top management. If not, go to the central bank. The Regulation Supervision Department has a consumer complaint section or unit that will hear these things. But what is unfortunate is that most of these borrowers, when they ask them for these things, even if they come to the central bank, you want to intervene, they don't even want you to intervene. Or they even afraid to come to the central bank because they don't want you to intervene. They think that when you intervene, they may not get the money. So they need to, the only way such thing can stop is for it to be brought to light. The bank management should be aware, central bank should be aware. If staff that are doing this are brought to book and dismissed for these things, other people will be afraid. So in terms of, one Fode kind of said, they open the account and they are taking $2.50. Again, you need to also ask, you go to open the account, what kind of account should you open?
Sure.
Yes. If you open savings account, the banks pay interest on your savings account. The interest may be low, but they will pay interest. They will not take charges. If you open current account, where they issue you checking account, where they issue you check, and you have to pay for the checkbook, they have to maintain that account for you. So you also have to pay charges for that account. So we don't know what kind of account the person opened.
Sorry, Dan. Additionally, even if you open a savings account, there are other charges that might come. Like you can expect the bank to give you an ATM card you are using. Then you don't, if they charge for the ATM, you say it's extra charge.
And this is where, for me, education comes in.
Yeah, there where I was. So the only thing like the bank, we try to make sure that the bank, from the onset, the bank should be able to tell you that, oh, this account, these are all the charges that will come with this account. So if you agree now for that account to be open, then if the charges are coming, they all will not be surprised to you. But if you go like that, if the phone is there, they will tell you if you want SMS, if you want internet banking. Those things, if you check them in the account opening and you're not quite, they haven't disclosed to you that those boxes you are checking, it will actually come with extra charge. There where the problem normally will
and then that's a real problem.
Yes.
Sometimes you just want to check because you want to go quick. You just checking.
Yeah.
Nobody explaining it to you. Yeah, any other thing?
Yeah, but in addition to what Jerry said, some of these activities are also good for the customers. Those days way back, people used to go to the bank with banking book. When there's transaction, it will not be recorded until you go to the bank. Nowadays, if there are transactions on your account, sometimes you receive text message, you receive a light. Yes. So these services are paid for by the bank. Sometimes they charge customers for these things. And they are good because, the world has become so small, digitizing everything. It's likely that people hack in your account and stuff like that. So as soon as there's transaction on your account, sometimes it's good for you to know it. That's why some of these charges come about. But I agree, like my colleague Jeremiah said, people need to be informed, actually. The aspect of kickback, we've just talked about
all
it.
over the
People
place,
should be able to complain. No matter what, complain. So I like one customer said, look, collateral should be tied to the person deposit account. Again, the NPL resolution conference, we expect all of these things. So I'll give you an example, and I'm not saying this for people to take it stuff because we don't want to preempt the discussion at the conference.
Sure.
But look at Nigeria has a policy called Global Standing Instruction, called GSI. That is individuals, when you take loan, because they got another one for companies, but individual, you take loan from Bank A and you refuse to pay, you get account to Bank B, the law will go to Bank B, take
And
the
take
money,
the
from,
money.
and pay Bank
And
A.
pay Bank A.
Sure.
And, you know, that is there. So as a result, Nigeria non-performing loan is around 5%. It's around 5%.
Because nobody got to run behind you.
Nobody got to run behind you. And, you know, again, we don't want to come up with these policies. We want everybody to go and discuss it. If the conference
Why couldn't we come up with it if it is... I'm not preempting a conference, but if it is the right thing to do to strengthen our regime, why not?
Yeah, so if the conference recommends it, the national legislature will also be invited.
Yeah, there should be law before you go about doing
yeah,
this.
I'm
so
just
the speaker,
saying,
so we make law with it so that everybody is aware and all of that. Then nobody
is already given.
yes,
Because some men are very good at multiple borrowing.
They do it strategically. So there was a caller who also wanted to know the venue of the conference. And the venue of the conference will be Ministerial Complex. It will be September 9 to 11. 2026. September 9 to 11. It will be 3-day conference, and we'll have all these stakeholders coming together. But you can get as much information on the Central Bank webpage, on our Facebook page. There are links, there are conference material, there are technical notes, conference things that you want to know. Your voice can also be heard. So most of these things we'll post even on the social media, the comments and what have you. We're reviewing them. We're trying to also take your suggestions and whatsoever you think about the conference into the entire discussion we'll have on September 9th to 11th.
Gentlemen, time is up.
Yeah, just 1 minute, please. We talk about the collateral registry system, and the central bank has enhanced it. We talked about it some times ago. The collateral registry system has already gone live. People are, financial institutions are using it. And like we said, it deals with both movable and immovable collateral now. And the launch will be on the 27th of August. More information on the collateral registry launch will also come to light.
Okay. Fonsia Mohammed Donso and Jeremiah King, the Central Bank of Liberia, they've been here as our guests talking about non-performing loans in Liberia and the upcoming September 9 to 11 conference at the Ministerial Complex to bring together stakeholders in the banking sector to talk about the way forward. My name is Piso. Thanks to Blessing Nameland. Tomorrow we'll be here with the Tuesday, August 18th edition of the show. Until that time, Maurice Quality is up to Liberia at 10.